Hi Year 11, here's a video for exercise 2D prefixes for units of measurement. So hopefully you notice that the names in yellow are ones that hopefully you are already familiar with: kilo, centi, milli. Now I've created on the side of this table a little jumpy diagram to help you in your conversions. If you like to use the way that they do in the textbook, by all means use their way. So here we go. Let me just get rid of a few of these things. Don't need those. So what you need to know is in this particular diagram, you start with your base unit. Your base unit is where that purple line is. The only problem with this table is they've left out the base unit. A base unit could be anything like just meters or just grams or just litres. And we add each of these prefixes to meters, like kilo to kilometres, centi to centimetres, milli to millimetres, to make it a smaller unit, okay, or a bigger unit in the case of kilos. So what you need to follow, and most of you know these already, you either, if you're going from a bigger prefix to a smaller prefix, you're going to multiply by 1,000 pretty much for all of these. And if you're going from a smaller to a bigger, you'll divide by 1,000. Now the only one that obviously puts a spanner in the works is this one here, good old centimetres. As we all know, there's 100 centimetres in a metre. So that one, you'll notice I've done those ones in green. So to go from your base unit meters to centimetres, you would times by 100 on the red side. And then to go from centimetres to millimetres, you would times by 10. So those are the changes are just there in the green. Now, to help you remember these orders, tera, giga, mega, for these ones that you haven't seen before, blue writing up the top there, to help you remember the order of letters, come up with a sentence with the letter order T, G, M, K. We call that an acronym. Okay, two good men, and I couldn't think of what to put for the K. So that just might help you remember tera, giga, mega in that order. All right, now throughout these, I'm going to use the blue and the red jumps. Okay, if you want to use the same way as they do it in the examples, go for it, and I'll try and show you how they do it there. If you think you know what you're doing here, this might be the first time you've done some of these bigger numbers, can you try these questions that are on this page here circled in purple until you feel competent? All right, here we go. All right, first of all, example 2D. So you're going to have to revert back to that table every time. Convert the following to meters. Now in green, I've written when converting from the base unit, multiply by the power of 10 shown in the table above. So 3.6 giga, we are changing that to meters. So either follow my jumps, start at giga, and go down to meters, which is the purple line. I'm actually jumping once for giga to mega, once again from mega to kilo, and then I'm jumping again to get to the purple line. So I'm actually timesing by 1,000 3 times, times 1,000, times 1,000, times 1,000, or times 1,000 to the power of 3, or I'm just going to multiply by that number there, 10 to the power of 9. That's the way they do it in the examples. So if I go back now here, 3.6 times 10 to the power of 9, using your calculator, press EXP on the sharp to get scientific notation up, press times 10 to the power of X on the Casio to get the EXP up and the times 10 bit. Now remember that does the times and the 10 and to the power of, so you don't need to repress any of those buttons. All right, next one, part 2, 7 micrometers to meters. So if I go back to the table, so I'm starting at micro down the bottom, micrometers to meters, and I'm going up. Let me just double check. All right, yes, that's correct. So if you look at the micro number, this is the way they do it. See how the micro number is 10 to the negative 6? You can either follow the jumps, all right? Micro to meters is one blue jump and then another blue jump, so it's dividing by 1,000 twice, or you can use the 10 to the negative 6. So here I've multiplied by 10 to the negative 6 if you want to use that, or I divided by 1,000 twice. So if I go 7 divided by 1,000 divided by 1,000 on my calculator, I would also get that decimal there, 0.5 zeros and then a 7. All right, so when you're doing it for converting 5.6 meters to kilometers, it's the other way. So now instead of timesing, you're dividing. So follow my jumps or do what they do in the examples. So 5.6 meters to kilometers. So I'm going to start at meters Right, so that's the purple line, and I'm going to go to kilometres. So if I do that, I'm following the blue jumps, I'm dividing by 1,000. So 5.6 divided by 1,000, do that on your calculator, and you get 0.0056. Next one, I'm going from metres to micro. So if I get my table up, I'm starting at metres, and I'm going to micro. So I'm going to follow the red jumps. So purple line, one jump to milli, that's 1,000. And another jump to micro, that's another 1,000. So I'm timesing by 1,000 twice. So let's have a look. Yep, so that's what I've done. 5.6 times 1,000 times 1,000. Now, timesing by 1,000 twice is the same as timesing by 10 to the power of 6. It's a 6 because there are 6 zeros in 1,000 times 1,000, okay? So you could just go 5.6 times 10 to the power of 6. So 2 jumps of thousands is always 2 lots of 3 for the index number, okay? Exercise 2D, convert these to metres. Now, I suggest you have a go on your own. Pause it here and then see if you can do this. Cover that over, okay? I'll leave it up to you. Sorry, I've already done them just to make the video go a bit quicker. So here I'm converting metres to mega. So if I go to my table, metres is the purple line. I'm jumping up towards the mega. So I'm doing 2 blue jumps. So I'm dividing by 1,000 twice, or I'm dividing by 10 to the power of 6, because that's what's next to mega. So if I go back to the question, sorry, I'm timesing. Yes, sorry, I'm going from metres to... No, I'm going from mega to metres. My mistake, I just went the wrong way on that diagram. So I'm going from mega to metres. So follow the red jumps. So your answer is 5,700,000. So the next one, I'm going from giga to grams. Yes, convert these 2 grams. So if I look at the table, start at giga, go down to grams. Okay, so the previous one, we should have started at mega and gone down to the purple baseline. So I'm going to jump 1 to mega, jump again to kilo, and then jump again to the baseline. So I am multiplying by 1,000 to the power of 3, or times 10 to the power of 9. Okay? Oh, I've gone too far, sorry. Goodness me. I don't know where I am. Oh, there we go. Okay, so there we go there. Now I'm just going to talk you through these ones. You can look at the table yourself. To go from tera to litres, you are doing 3 jumps. Sorry, you're actually doing 4 jumps from tera to litres. Okay, so we're multiplying by 1,000 to the power of 4. I did that straight on my calculator. Now this is a pretty big one, so your calculator's not going to give you a numeral for this. You only have 10 digits on your calculator screen. So as you can see, this number is a hell of a lot bigger than 10 digits. So that's why you're only going to get an answer in scientific notation. So remember, if there's no decimal point after the 3, which in this case there isn't, then you just put 12 zeros after the 3 if you need to write it as a numeral. Converting 4.9 metres to kilometres. So we're going to start at metres and we're going to move 2 kilometres. So if I go to the table, I'm starting at metres, the purple baseline, and I'm going up to kilometres. So I'm dividing by 1,000. All right, so I'm going 4.9 divided by 1,000 and I get 0.0049. Question 2b, I'm going from grams to megagrams. So following the blue, again, starting at the base, the purple line, and I'm jumping twice to get to mega. So I'm dividing by 1,000 twice, or I'm dividing by 10 to the power of 6 if you want to follow the table. Okay, so that means I get 0 point and then 5 zeros and then 24 megagrams. Now the next one is actually the same because you're going from the base to the mega, so you're dividing by 1,000 squared again, which is also going to give you 0 point, 5 zeros and then 65. You can do that calculation on your calculator if you wish. Example 2D2. We're now going from a different unit to another unit, not necessarily the base unit. So this time I'm going to go from tera to mega. So if I look in my table, tera to mega, start at tera, follow the red jumps down to mega, I'm timesing by 1,000 twice. Okay, or I'm multiplying by 10 to the power of 6, so that gives me 356 3,560,000. So 4 zeros. Next one, I'm going from B. I'm going from milli to micro. So if you follow the table, milli, 2 jumps down to micro means again I'm multiplying by 1,000 twice. So there, oops, milli to micro, my bad, I went to nano, sorry about that. Milli to micro, 1 jump of 1,000 only. So therefore, timesing by 10 to the power of 3, which is 9,400. Question 3, we are now converting from giga to mega. Go to your table. Giga to mega is 1 jump upwards on the blue side. Giga to mega is not, Miss King, it is the red side. So hopefully we're timesing by 1,000. Oh, goodness me, I'm getting tired. Sorry about this. So times by 1,000. There we go there. Next one, I'm just going to go through these quickly. Centi to nano. This one's a little bit harder, so I will go back to the diagram just to show you. So centi, okay, so we're starting here. And we've got to follow 1 green jump times 10. And then we've got to follow 1 red jump times 1,000 to get to micro. And then another red jump times 1,000 to get to nano. So you're timesing by 10 times 1,000 times 1,000. Okay, and you'll notice that's what I've written there. Times by 10 times 1,000 times 1,000, which is 2, 9, and 6 zeros. That is 29 million, isn't it? Yep. All right, tera to kilo. If you go back to your diagram, you'll notice it is 3 jumps. So I'm multiplying by 1,000 cubed, or 10 to the power of 9 if you wish, and you'll get 8,000 million. Silly thing. Move across, thank you. Here we go. So going from centi to micro. So we're doing that little jump from centi to milli. We're timesing by 10. And then we're doing milli to micro. So we're timesing by 1,000. So in all up, we're timesing by 10 to the power of 4. So that gives us 43,000 micrometers. All right, here we have some problems. Yep. Number 5, Warragamba Dam holds 2,580,000 megalitres of water at full capacity. So we're changing this from mega to giga. So if we go from mega to giga, I've written it over here, we divide by 1,000. So that's all you have to do for that one. So I crossed off 3 zeros and I got 2,580 gigalitres. I did check that in the back of the book and that is correct. All right, now number 7, the back of the book, I think, has got it wrong. So I'll see if you agree with me. Mass of a hydrogen atom is, now that's in grams. Oh, I haven't times it by 1,000,000. That's my problem. Okay. So what is the mass in nanograms of 1,000,000 hydrogen atoms? That's what I've done wrong. All right. So first of all, I've changed grams to hydrogen. Grams to nano. So if I go back to the table, grams to nano, started at grams, jumped once, jumped twice, jumped 3 times to get to nano. Now I know why I got the wrong answer. Okay, so I've multiplied by 10 to the power of 3, or 10 to the power of 9, 1,000 to the power of 3, excuse me, and that gave me 1.67 times 10 to the negative 15. But I didn't read this. I didn't read 1,000,000. Now that's my answer for 1 hydrogen atom. So let me just get rid of that. I obviously, for 1,000,000, I've got to times that by 1,000,000. And if I do that on my calculator, 1.67 EXP negative 15 times 1,000,000, I get, oh, that's big, 1.67 times 10 to the negative 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, I get 10. That can't be right. All right. Anyway, the answer is to the negative 9. All right. So I'm just going to double check anyway and see what I've done wrong. Okay. Bye.